Real Virginia is produced by the Virginia Farm Bureau. Farming, it's all good. Visit our website at vafarmbureau.org.
Home will always be Virginia, between the Blue Ridge and Chesapeake Bay, Atlantic to Appalachia, home in my heart always.
Hello everyone and welcome to Real Virginia, a show about Virginia agriculture and the people who produce the products we enjoy. June is Dairy Month across the nation, and we'll pay a visit to a dairy farm where the owners are using state-of-the-art technology to care for their cows. Summer cookout season is also here, and we have a recipe for a hamburger you won't want to miss. And while Virginia Tech is where the state's dairy science program is based, only recently have Tech students been able to enjoy the milk from those cows. Welcome back, everyone. We're here at Eastview Dairy Farm in Hanover County, where it takes hours every day to milk their herd. But there are some farms in Virginia that have taken a step into the future, and they're using robots to milk their cows while saving on labor. At first glance, Ingleside Dairy Farm in Rockbridge County doesn't look different than most farms with a milking parlor and holding area for cows. But when taking a look inside, you notice that this dairy is being run by robots and not people. The Leach family has been operating this farm since 1967. Before, the laborious process of milking their herd of 310 cows started at 4 a.m. and ended at 5 in the evening. Now, robots take care of milking, and the cows select their own milking times.
The cows seem to be happier now, and I guess they're more making their own schedule for themselves rather than them doing what we tell them to do. They can come in whenever they want to. The milkers are open 24 hours a day except when it shuts down to wash.
In 2012, the Leaches wanted to upgrade their traditional milking parlor to a more modern system. They decided to use the Lely A4 astronaut robotic milkers after researching dairies in Pennsylvania and New York that used the system. They found this machine worked best for their operation. The computerized milker not only milks the cow on its own schedule, but can tell the producer more about the health of the animal.
Each cow has a collar that she wears that has, I guess, an ID tag on the side of her neck, and that records her chewing through a microphone. Then it also records her movement throughout the day, so her activity. And that's what we use to breed the cows off of. The more she moves around, the more likely she is to be in heat. And the less she chews, the more likely she is to not be feeling well. The computer keeps track of everything, so we know that she's been milked and how much milk she ate, temperature, and the fat and the protein, and more things than you ever need to know. Even though maybe we're not seeing that cow being milked with our own eyes, the computer's got eyes all over her.
The Leaches still milk 70 cows the traditional method because the system can handle only a herd of 240. What once took all day now takes 3 hours. Leach says they plan to add more of the automatic milkers to become 100% robotic, not only to save in labor hours, but also for the increased production of milk. Their cows are now producing an average of 10 pounds more milk per day per head.
Part of that is because the cow can be milked more than twice a day, and they average about 2.6, 2.7 visits a day. And some cows will come in 6 times a day. If she's given 150 pounds, the computer knows to milk her more than a cow that's given 50 pounds.
While waiting their turn to be milked, the heifers have other options in the barn, like using the automatic brush system.
Some people have called it spa. So.
A spa where you don't have to make an appointment and always get pampered.
Rockbridge County is one of the most scenic areas in Virginia. It's also cattle and poultry country. The 805 farms here are almost all livestock operations. 32,455 head of cattle graze on more than 27,000 acres of grassland. And turkeys are also an important livestock sector. Hay is the top crop, along with corn, wheat, oats, and barley used for livestock feed. Dairy cattle are responsible for more than $3 million in income each year, while beef cattle farmers earn more than $10 million from their livestock. There are also a few hog farms and horse operations contributing to the farm economy of Rockbridge County, Virginia.
I'm Mark Viette. Coming up on In the Garden, we're going to talk about summer bulbs. Stay with us.
I love being a dairy farmer because it's an adventure to be a dairy farmer. It's a new beginning every day.
Every day I can get up in the morning and have a smile on my face, whether it's raining or whether the sun's shining. I love what I do.
Growing up on a dairy farm, I think you learn to work really hard and don't take anything for granted.
There's a lot of work to do on a dairy farm. You have to be committed.
It's a huge responsibility that we have being farmers. We take pride in it and we're proud to be able to do it.
Every day we have the opportunity to provide a wholesome product that's vitamin rich and nutrient full.
It's a feel-good feeling knowing that I'm putting food on somebody else's table and that I'm doing a good job doing it.
I am Ken Smith.
I'm Ben Smith, and
I'm
I'm
dedicated
dedicated
to
to dairy,
my
my
cows,
cows, my milk,
my
my
land.
land.
Learning, working to improve your community, developing new skills, and a strong character. It's all easier when it's based on fun. 4-H is fun. Just ask the kids.
It's very fun because it's diverse and I get to meet a lot of people.
Aside from the friendships, it's just a lot of fun. There's activities from the fairs to camps to day camps, all those types of things.
4-H. Have fun while learning. Contact your local Virginia Cooperative Extension office today.
Hot summer days are almost upon us. Mark Viette has some suggestions on how to beautify your patios with pots of summer bulbs.
If we want color after our daffodils have finished blooming or our tulips have finished in a garden, you can plant what we call summer bulbs. And they can include something in a way of liliums, which have beautiful fragrance, at least the varieties I like do. You can even put in, now we call these bulbs, they're not all bulbs, but you have dahlias that you can put in the garden. Now in some cases you can put these right out in the garden, or you can fill your containers with these bulbs that will give you color all summer long. It's not hard to do. Just get a nice container. I like to use rather large containers, and I like to fill them with 5 or more different types of plants. All you have to do is take what we call a soilless mix. This is just not your garden soil, but this has maybe peat, perlite, pine bark, and other additives. It stays nice and loose throughout the summer months. So you get that material, and you partially fill your container, almost maybe 4 inches from the top, and then you can take your bulbs. Now, you might consider something like the giant elephant ears. Now remember, the bigger the bulb, the bigger the leaves. So you can put that maybe in the background of this container and set that in. Then I'm going to go ahead and put this beautiful double pink lilium with a lot of fragrance in the front. And I'm going to put, one of the dwarf short dahlias on the side. Even if you want to put gladiolas, you can put them in. But I do recommend, both for the garden and even in containers, to plant these about at least 12 inches deep, so they're a little bit shorter and they don't fall over in the garden. And then the other thing you can consider, you can put caladiums, or you can put the beautiful calla lilies. Now, many times you're going to find these plants in a plastic bag just like this, maybe filled with a little bit of organic matter, but the bigger usually is better. These are some callas that I dug from the garden, and nice, beautiful, large type bulbs. And here is one that I purchased that really is only about 1/4 of the size. This is going to perform better for me. So sometimes you got to open up the box, make sure you know what you're getting before you get it. So you set these plants inside your container like this, and the next step is you're going to go ahead and cover them with your potting soil. You can also go ahead and plant these summer flowering bulbs in the garden. And if you have more of the perennial type, these are types that come back every year, like liliums, you can plant them in the garden. It's just easy. Just go ahead, plant them. But if you're dealing with some of the more tender bulbs, like I talked about a minute ago, calla lilies, or even some of your gladiolas, It is far better to plant them a little deeper in a garden, especially in the colder areas, so they don't freeze during the winter months. But you can fill your garden, your container, with these summer flowering bulbs, and you can enjoy color all summer long, all the way in some cases through till fall. I'm Mark Viette. Join me next time in the garden.
For more garden tips, go to inthegardenradio.com.
Up next on Real Virginia, it's cookout time. We've got a recipe for a double-decker burger coming up next on Heart of the Home.
All-terrain vehicles are a lot of fun and have become very popular in rural Virginia. An ATV is versatile and is used for a variety of purposes. But it's important to never carry a passenger unless the ATV is specifically designed to carry riders. An extra rider can distract the driver and throw the ATV off balance. Operate your ATV safely. And remember,
No extra riders.
For more on all-terrain vehicle safety, go to farmbureauadvantage.com.
Severe weather can destroy a home in seconds. There's no time to think, only time to act. Have a kit so you're ready for any emergency. Develop a plan for what you and your family will do before disaster strikes. And stay informed during severe weather any way you can. It can be the difference between losing your possessions and losing your life. Just ask the owners of this house. Visit weather.com/ready and let the Weather Channel help you prepare your family for emergencies.
Do you operate one of these? Then you need one of these. If you operate a motorboat or PWC in Virginia, you need to know about Virginia's boating safety education requirements. Visit the Virginia Department of Game and Inland Fisheries website, huntfishva.com, for more details on Virginia's boating requirements or to locate a boating safety course near you. Be responsible, be safe, have fun, and always wear a life jacket on the water.
Today, 720 new cases of breast cancer will be diagnosed.
Every day, 120 women will die from the disease.
You can make a difference for the more than 6,300 women diagnosed in Virginia this year.
Education and early detection are critical in this fight.
By advocating for the needs of those of us suffering from the disease,
let's keep breast cancer awareness out in front so we can leave the disease behind.
If you're looking to take your backyard burger to the next level, look no further. Kendra Bailey Morris has some suggestions for the Virginia Mac in the heart of the home.
Hi, I'm Kendra Bailey Morris, and welcome to the Heart of the Home. Today we're going to be making a very special burger, and we're going to call it the Virginia Mac because it is featuring one of Virginia's strongest agricultural products, which is Virginia beef. And so what we're going to do is do our own little recreation of this, and it's really, really good. You won't be wanting fast food anymore after you try this. So I've got 4 beef patties here, and I'm just going to lightly season them, a little bit of salt, and they're pounded out very, very thin, which is what you want to do, because the burgers we're going to be making are double burgers. So you need a little bit of thinness there in order to stack them up real good. All right, so these are ready to go, and I have a hot pan going. Hot grill pan, you could do these on the grill. You could do them in just a regular nonstick pan on the stove. Totally up to you. These grill pans are really nice, though, because you can get all the benefits of grilling when the weather's not good and do it inside. So I'm going to have these guys going, and the type of beef that I like to use for burgers is about 15% fat. 20% sometimes tends to be a little bit too much. Extra lean has a tendency to dry out. So this is kind of a nice little middle ground, and I like to use chuck most of the time, which is what these are. In the meantime, I'm going to make this special sauce that goes on this burger. And I'm going to start with some mayonnaise. I've got a little bit of Thousand Island dressing. And I've got some relish, sweet relish, minced onion, a touch of white vinegar. Use cider vinegar if you want as well, but I like the flavor of the white vinegar in this. And I'm just going to mix this together. Give it a little bit of salt, a little turn of black pepper. Meanwhile, my burgers are looking good. You can obviously make this ahead and store it in the fridge up to a day or two. Use it on all different kinds of things. But in this case, it's going to be what slathers our buns and our burgers. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and finish cooking these. You want to cook them all the way through. And when we're done, I will show you how to assemble your Virginia Mac. Okay, so our burgers are cooked and they look great. I've got two here that I'm going to use to assemble one of my burgers. And these are not small burgers. These are big burgers, which is the only way to have a burger, I would say. And I'm going to begin by adding some of the special sauce on the bottom bun, just like this. And then I've got some very finely minced onion, and I'm going to sprinkle that over the bottom. Next, I'm going to add some lettuce, shredded. All right. Then I'm going to add a piece of cheese, just American cheese. You got to use American cheese. It's the only way. Now I'm going to add one of my burgers, just like this. What I've done here is just taken one of the bottom parts of a regular sesame seed bun, and I've just trimmed it up a little bit. So this is going to be our middle bun. You can see it's a big burger. More of the sauce. Be fairly generous with this. All right. A little bit more minced onion. A little bit more lettuce. Not a ton, just a little. And then I'm going to add the pickles, because you got to have pickles on your burger. Finally, I'm now going to add the next burger. This is as high as it gets, I promise. As you can see, this is a big burger, the kind that you will need to smash down before you eat. And I'm going to go ahead and place this here, put a little toothpick in it. And there you have it, Virginia Mac burgers made with Virginia beef. I'm Kendra Bailey Morris. Let's get cooking.
Recipes from the heart of the home can be found on the Virginia Farm Bureau website at vafarmbureau.org.
The dairy industry is a $395 million enterprise in Virginia, ranking behind only the poultry industry and beef cattle. Dairy farms are scattered all across the Old Dominion, but the greatest concentration of operations is in the Shenandoah Valley, followed by Southwest and Southside Virginia. Virginia dairy herds produce 198 million gallons of milk. Virginia's dairy industry ranks 21st in the nation, and there are 690 dairy farms producing milk. A decade ago, there were more than 1,000 dairy farms. While some dairy farms have gone out of business, the number of dairy cows has remained constant as other dairies grew larger.
Conservation is not a new word for us. As rice and soybean farmers, both my father and my grandfather invested in water conservation. Their goals are now my goals: to use water efficiently in producing crops and reduce the potential for pollution. We've done this by installing systems that control the runoff in our fields. We want the water that leaves this farm to be just as clean as the water that enters this farm, if not cleaner. Clean water is important to our family, our farm, and every living thing in the watershed. I think most farmers see it that way.
Farm Bureau and America's farmers, caring for the future.
I love fishing at Virginia State Parks.
We love the trails in Virginia State Parks.
I love a picnic in Virginia State Parks.
I love the view at Virginia State Parks.
I love staying at Virginia State Parks.
I love learning in Virginia State Parks.
I love Virginia State Parks.
I'm Bob McDonald, and I love Virginia State Park.
Find something you love in a Virginia State Park.
Virginia Tech has a nationally ranked dairy science program and a top-notch dairy research herd. But as Norm Hyde reports, until recently, students only saw the milk if they were involved in the dairy science program, but not anymore.
They call it Virginia Tech Milk. Virginia Tech's Dairy Science Department is one of the only standalone departments of its type in the nation. Every time there's a home game, Hokie football fans pass by the Dairy Cattle Center on South Park Drive. But until recently, students couldn't drink the milk from those cows on campus. Thanks to a new collaborative effort between the Dairy Department and the Tech dining halls, now they can.
We do have a few grab-and-go type cartons that we still purchase from other purveyors, but everything we serve up here in D2 at the All You Care to Eat facility is from Virginia Tech. I think it was kind of one of those natural connection things, you know, all right, we've got agriculture on campus, we've got dairy sciences on campus, what's going on with that milk? Where's it going? Why don't we use it here?
The milk from Virginia Tech's 400 head of dairy cattle has always been processed and sold to various state agencies. This new partnership simply brings some of the milk back to campus, where students appreciate that it is locally produced.
It's definitely, since we are an ag school, it's beneficial to the students who want to learn about the processes, and they can go in and help with the process of producing milk and making it ready for consumers to drink.
Dairy science sophomore Sarah Siba is one of dozens of students who work in the milking parlor each year.
When the cows first come in the parlor, we hand strip them out, check the milk, make sure there's no mastitis, they're not sick or anything. Then we have a pre-dip, which is an iodine mixture to disinfect the teats. The milkers are on an automatic takeoff, so once the machine takes the milkers off, then we go back and dip them with a post-dip to make sure the teat doesn't get infected.
While it seems like a no-brainer that students would be able to drink milk from the Virginia Tech herd, feeding more than 17,000 college students every day means the Tech dining halls have to find suppliers that can provide hundreds of gallons of milk. Literally, what the research herd provides is just a drop in the bucket.
Being able to produce the quantities, that's the other big thing challenge-wise, was the quantity of milk that we go through. These big 5-gallon crates are big, but they don't last that long when you got this many people here drinking from them.
But since Tech has similar arrangements to use products from its meat science department and vegetables from the university's Kentland farms, a lot of the obstacles to adding milk to the menu have already been worked out.
I think it is so cool that I get to work here and harvest the milk and get to drink it back on campus, and it's going to the rest of campus, and I think it's a great way to teach people about agriculture.
In addition to offering Virginia Tech milk in the dining halls, the Dairy Science Department offers regular tours of their facility to all students on campus, all to help every Virginia Tech student keep moving towards a well-rounded education. Reporting from Blacksburg, Virginia, I'm Norm Hyde.
That's going to do it for this edition of Real Virginia. We're glad you could join us this month to celebrate the bounty Virginia has to offer. Whether it's in your home, your garden, or your landscape, we are proud to say that this is Real Virginia. So for everyone from the Virginia Farm Bureau, thanks for watching. Make it a good month.
Home will always be Virginia, between the Blue Ridge and Chesapeake Bay, Atlantic to Appalachia.